this is my 39th year in this industry. And I say this to all my team members, all the employees across. Every day we do something that helps somebody's aunt, somebody's grandmother, somebody's uncle. My parents had cataract surgery. So what inspires me is that I know that every single day I'm doing something, but more importantly, my team is doing something to help somebody's parent or grandparent see. I mean, I still get chills on that. My personal experience is my parents. David Chang, the great David Chang in San Francisco, did my parents' cataract surgeries. I was more nervous than anything else because those were my parents, but I knew David Chang was there. So I've had a related experience of having my parents had cataract surgery. I've gone through procedures, but knowing that we're doing something every day, Tom, to help somebody's vision still gives me chills in my 39th year. Tom, what I think people don't understand about Zeiss or know about Zeiss is that this is a company that's been here for over 170 years. Nothing wrong with companies that are just starting, but I think the point that I'm bringing about is this is a great company with a tremendous history. But it's also going to be here for another 170 years and continuing. Why? Because it's a foundation. Yes, we want to continue to grow revenues and make profits, but the money goes back into research. That's the commitment of Zeiss. What gets me excited about Zeiss is that we have introduced great technologies from diagnosis to treatment. In fact, we're the only company that diagnoses and treats. We have great competitors, don't get me wrong, but either they treat, they don't diagnose, or they diagnose and they don't treat. We do everything from that perspective. The other one that gets me excited is we have great technologies. We have technologies like Smile here in the United States, just got U.S. astigmatism approval. We have unbelievable microscopes, as you know. We continue to innovate with the IOL Master Callisto. But we're not ignorant, if that's a word to use, that says there's also other great people, other great ideas, and we announced the acquisition of IanTech here at the OIS Symposia here at the Academy. So we understand that we can create great products through our own technology and R&D. We're also opportunistic by looking at other great ideas outside of the company, but always leveraging 170 years experience in this industry. There's something about having been here for this many years, but also having the opportunity to continue to be. Not many companies in any industry can tell their employees, we'll still be here tomorrow. I mean, really think about that. What company can say that? Zeiss will say that and can say that. So I think the milestones that are critical is, first off, we announced IanTech. So we now need to, over the next several months, close that acquisition, integrate that great team into Zeiss, learn from that great team. So that's a critical one for us. Our next milestones are, we obviously need to get intraocular lenses across the globe. People don't realize sometimes here in the United States, we are one of the largest intraocular lens company outside the United States. We have a trifocal, we have an extended depth of focus, we have monofocals. In the United States, it's a really big gap for us. And in addition, we'll be launching our next generation phaco emulsification unit. So I'm really excited about the expansion of our cataract portfolio. The other one that's really exciting to me is what we're looking at from the diagnostic standpoint of a home healthcare network. If you look at the phenomena that's creating today in the environment, more patients, less doctors. That's not a good equation for patient success. So can we have a home diagnostic capability where the patient can identify what their issue is and not have to have them go to the office, take that valuable time, both for themselves and the doctors? As the leaders in diagnostics, that's our responsibility. So I'm really excited about what we're doing there. And if you look at Zeiss, we acquired Veracity, which is again a surgical planner, and we're going to look at other technologies beyond surgical. We have Forum. We're the only company really in our space that has a leadership position in digital. And digital is the really phenomena that any industry is looking at. And we've already established a base there, but we can get much better. So again, I've been around 39 years, and I know that seems like a long time, but I am still shocked by how much new innovation. I mean, just now at the OIS session, I sat in a couple sessions and saw some new technologies. Maybe I'm biased, But I have been in other industries through sitting with Abbott and things and looking at others and leading the MDMA organization and AdvaMed, the medical device. So I've seen other associations. I've never seen in any other association the pace of innovation. And I think there's a reason for that. First off, there is an unbelievable collaboration in our industry between physicians and companies. I don't see that in any others. So that allows us to really test and hear from our customers. The other point is there's very little R and mostly D. The real big companies will be honest with you, very little R, big D. So where does that R come from? It comes from acquiring great entrepreneurial ideas and then integrating them into the company and developing even more. So I would tell you that we have a great idea between getting smaller entities, bringing them into the larger entities, staying close to the customer. But then I'll leave you with the final point. If you ask the elderly today, we did a study, if they could have one disease that they would not want to have, of course they don't want to have cancer, of course they don't want to have heart disease, but it's losing their eyesight because that loses their independence. So the pace of innovation is a requirement because people know that God forbid you lose your eyesight, you lose your independence. So that's why the pace of innovation in our industry is unbelievable. The best piece of advice I ever received was 2 ears, 1 mouth. And I got that from Gavin Herbert, who ties to the second piece of advice. The only way you're going to learn about your customer is by being with your customer. So the 2 ears, 1 mouth is that when I'm with somebody, with a customer, shut up, listen. We have an unbelievable belief that we know more than our customer, and we're damned, we love to tell them that. I tell my people, when you have the opportunity to be with a customer, shut up and listen. Because there's a point of what I learned from Gavin, the point between passive and active listening. The passive listener just hears basically what the customer is saying. The active listener is hearing the meaning behind what the customer is saying. And that's so valuable. And Gavin always taught me the only way to do that is not sitting in the office, not talking to them over the phone, watching them in surgery. I can give you the case in point about preloaded intraocular lenses. People thought preloaded came from practitioners. It actually came from the OR nurses who were presbyopic and were dropping the lenses in the OR. When they had to put them in the inserter, the doctor doesn't put the lens in the inserter, they got them from the OR nurse. People were watching lenses after lenses being dropped in the OR because the lens is so small, and a lot of the OR nurses were presbyopic. They couldn't see it. Preloaded came from being in the OR, not by sitting over the phone. 2 ears, 1 mouth, be in the office, be where the customer is. My one rule is, I will never violate, is that there is no such thing as an org chart in a company. The minute you think you're more important than somebody else, you're not. I am not a big believer in hierarchy. I think that is the one. The minute you start to think that somebody else, you're more important than somebody else, you're wrong. We just have different roles and responsibilities. And I truly believe I want everybody in our company to understand that they impact the customer. My team will tell you, I say to everybody, if you don't think you impact the customer, come see me, and I'll take your job description and I'll show that you actually impact the customer. And in fact, you go back to my principle about the org chart, I'm technically the least important person because I'm the farthest person away from the customer. If you look at an org chart, you know me, I am with the customer, because again, back to my principle of staying with the customer. So that's something I'll never. The other one is, I'll say humility. I really believe that's a lost characteristic of leadership today, is humility. People fall in love with their press clippings, and the minute you fall in love with your press clippings, I think you lose really what is important in life. And you know, I like to laugh, and I like to be a little humble because really I've made more mistakes than anybody else. So I think humility is a great characteristic that I don't want to lose. Well, the thing that excites me most about OIS is the diversity in that room. And I mean by diversity is there's ophthalmologists, there's optometrists, there's private equity, there's venture, there's big, there's small companies, there's banks. The diversity in that room is extremely exciting. They're all on the edge of their seat. You know, we start early in the day, they're still there at the end of the day. And I love that they're all in there engaged, asking questions. Because sometimes when you're only involved with the people that are in, industry stays with industry or doctors stay with doctors, you lose that identity. You lose really the thought process, the lateral thinking. I'm so excited about walking into that room and seeing the diversity of people. And as I told you last night, the thing that I really enjoy, I see a lot of smiles in that room. Very rarely do you go into a meeting where you see people actually enjoying what they're doing. They're usually in a meeting going, I need CME, so I'm sitting in here, or I need to listen to this person because he wants to see me there. They're actually enjoying themselves because they could be in many other places. That's what I enjoy about the OIS.